So what is going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another zombies video on the channel, back with another Q&A where we take your questions from the comment section below to do with the zombie storyline, Easter eggs, and answer them. So as always, if you enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. But let's get into this. Here we go. So the first question of the day is from Kirby Star Warrior, and when I first picked this comment, I believe I read it incorrectly. You say, do you think the military guy with the parachute is going to be playable in story mode? Please answer my question. I'm not too sure what you actually mean by story mode. There is no zombies story mode. Possibly you mean storyline. It doesn't really make too much sense to me, but what I thought you said was, is the military guy with the parachute going to be playable in zombies? I assume by the parachute guy you mean Peter McCain, so what you're asking is, do I think he's going to be a playable character in zombies? So, of course Peter is part of the Ether storyline. We only have 2 maps, DLC 3 and 4, left for this. After that, that is where this storyline ends, and more than likely we will only have Chaos from then on, which makes me sad every time I think about it. But that leaves us with 2 maps, where, as you say, we could possibly be playing as Peter McCain. Now, we know that DLC 4 is going to be the Great War. DLC 3, we don't exactly know what that's going to be just yet. It could be with the transit crew or a different set of characters. Peter McCain, maybe? I don't think so. And the reason why I think that is because Peter McCain is dead. We know in the original timeline, Peter, who was an OSS spy, infiltrated Group 935 and travelled to Verrucht, but once his identity was compromised, he was found out, Peter escaped and then took a plane to Numa. And flying over that facility on a plane, McCain jumped out, he parachuted down, however his parachute got tangled up in the roof, hanging and killing him. So originally Peter McCain died. We do know in a fractured universe, because of the premise characters teleporting around everywhere causing temporal rifts, messing up different universes, because of the premise characters using a rift to teleport to Gorod Karovi, in this fractured universe, when Peter McCain jumped out of the plane, parachuting down to Numa, this time a massive rift opened up below him, Peter went into it, and as we see, he was spat out in Gorod Karovi. We see him in the intro cutscene unconscious, and that's when the premise crew use him to land safely to the ground. And then, as we know, we later on saw him again in Revelations where he disappeared. So Peter McCain has been popping up every now and again, but originally he died, and in this alternate timeline, in this fractured universe, he lived. However, we know since we've now broken the cycle, our characters travelled to Blood of the Dead, Richtofen sacrificed himself, he gave his blood to break the loop, and they are now going to kill Dr. Monty with the Ultimus crew. This means that Gorod Karovi hasn't happened, and in fact it won't. And so if Gorod Karovi doesn't take place, that means a temporal rift doesn't open beneath Peter McCain, meaning just like in the original timeline, he hangs himself and dies. At the point we are at in the zombie storyline, just after Classified, Peter McCain should be dead, because like I just said, Gorod Karovi doesn't happen. So to answer your question, are we going to play as Peter McCain? No, unless Treyarch come up with some crazy explanation. And even if that wasn't the case, I don't think he'd be a playable character anyway. I think a better question would be, do I think we'll see him? Because he seems to pop up every now and again, but I would still have to say no, he should be dead since Gorod Karovi hasn't happened. But you know what, I can see Treyarch somehow working their way around this. The next question of the day says, when you play as Samuel, why can you hear zombie noises? So I know exactly what you're on about. If you play as Samuel Stuhlinger in Die Rise, for example, you can hear zombie moans and growls, noises in your head. No other character can hear this. And by the way, when I went to get some gameplay and I just turned up the voice volume and turned everything else down, it makes zombies 10 times scarier when all you can hear is very loud zombie groans everywhere. Trust me, play a game of zombies on Black Ops 2, just turn the voice volume all of the way up, turn everything else down, and it makes zombies 10 times scarier. But yes, if you take a listen, you can hear zombie growls in Stuhlinger's head. So you can see they are very random. Sometimes they go on for absolutely ages, sometimes they are just a few seconds. We also heard these in the Dire Eyes intro cutscene when Samuel seems to be talking to himself. At least that's what Misty, Malton and Rustman think, but we can hear that actually Samuel is talking to this zombie voice in his head. Who is this? Well, if you are somewhat up to date with the Call of Duty Zombie storyline, we know this is Richtofen. However, it is strange because it isn't his usual voice talking, he is growling for some reason, which doesn't really make too much sense because Richtofen isn't a zombie. At this point in time, he was inside of the MPD, controlling the zombies, and we know since Stuhlinger ate the flesh of zombies, Richtofen was able to make contact with him and talk to him in his head, which is what he did all the way throughout Black Ops 2, but we rarely heard him talk to Samuel in this zombie voice. And like I said, we see in the Dire Eyes intro, there is this zombie growl and Samuel replies to it. It's telling him to mend the rift, and if he doesn't, then he's going to tell the other characters what he did, and then by the end of the intro, the voice becomes more clear.
How did you... What? What do you mean, mend the rift? Well, maybe I don't wanna. Huh? Did you think of that? I don't understand.
What are you talking about, Stuhlinger? Misty made it pretty clear.
Accept your fate. Begin anew.
We're going down. We're going down fighting. No!
It says to him, accept your fate, begin anew, and that's why the transit crew step out of the elevator and are all killed. Of course, we know the cycle is reset, so the characters just get sent back to the beginning until they complete the Dire Eyes quest. But yes, it is revealed at the end of the intro that this zombie growl in Stuhlinger's head was Richtofen. But I do find it weird how Richtofen can talk to Samuel in, I don't know if you call it zombie form, kind of like a dog's way of talking is barking or a cat's way of talking is meowing. It seems like a zombie's way of talking is growling, and they can somehow understand each other. And so Richtofen, who isn't a zombie, talks to Samuel like this, and Samuel, because he ate the flesh of zombies, can understand him. So there we go, this growling is Richtofen. But I do just want to say, when I went back to listen to this, it did kind of remind me of Brutus.
I have a life, a wife and son. 9:30. Guard begins his rounds. I knew you four in cahoots.
As you just heard in Mob of the Dead, the way he talks, the way he growls. If you didn't know this was Richtofen, I suppose you could mistake him for Brutus, and it's also kind of strange because obviously the map after Dire Eyes was Mob of the Dead. If you die in Dire Eyes, you actually hear the footsteps of Brutus and him locking the cell doors, so there are clues to him in this map, which does leave you a little bit suspicious. Is this possibly Brutus? I don't think so, but you have to admit it kind of does, well, at least I think so, kind of sounds like him. Tom Smith says, hey BOA, what are the purple perks in Revelations and do they mean anything? Thanks, keep up the good work. So the Revelations purple perks that you can get are linked to the hats. As we know, there are many different hats. The most famous one is of course Al's that you can find in the Mob of the Dead section. That one doesn't do anything. It seems like it's just a cosmetic item. However, there are loads of other masks and helmets that you can get in Revelations that are little side Easter eggs, such as the dire wolf head, the helmet of Siegfried, the Margwa head, the Fury head, the Keeper skull head, the helmet of a king, the Apothecon mask. You have to do a couple of little Easter eggs in order to get them, and when you do, each helmet gives you a different effect, different abilities, and, as you say in this comment, a purple perk. So for example, if you get the dire wolf head, to get this what you have to do is kill zombies near the skull in the anti-gravity room, and when you do this you will unlock it, you put it on, and it will give you purple stamina up, which is basically increased sprint duration. There's also the helmet of Siegfried. This one gives you purple juggernog, which means you can take one extra hit from the zombies. There is also the Margwa head. You just have to kill 3 of the different type of Margwas with 1 hit to each head, and when you get this helmet, again you're going to get purple stamina up up, but also it means you will now do 33 more damage to Mogwars, and you will have 50% damage reduction when they attack you. There's also the Fury Head, which again gives you purple Juggernog. It means you'll take less damage from them, and then there's a couple more. Basically, they either give you purple Stamina Up or purple Juggernog. Anyway guys, that is it. That is all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, you know what to do. Drop a like, rate, and of course, if you want to, if not, it's totally fine. Thank you guys for watching the video anyway. Make sure you are subscribed, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Leave any questions you have in the comment section below, and until then, goodbye.